Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is my first video, so I think it's best to tell you who I am and what you can expect of this channel. I am a self-made fashion designer and a certified fashion stylist. I've been designing my own clothing since I was 11 or 12 and it turned out very handy because I'm very short. I'm 5'2". So in my country everyone is at least 15 centimeters taller than me, so all the clothing is way too long for me, so I had to adjust everything. So I started to make all my clothing myself, and that's really nice to do. And one thing in this channel what I want to do is share that with you so that you can do the same. There were a couple of topics on this channel. One you saw in the title. The first one will be make what you see in the shops. And that means if you see something in the shops that you really like but you can't afford it, or you don't have the money now, or well, you can buy everything that you see but you certainly can make everything that you see. So I will teach you how to make a pattern of what you want to make. First we make a drawing what you would like, because when you make it yourself you can add something you like or leave something out that you don't like. You can add a waffle if you like it, but if you really don't like waffles, just leave it out and make it how you like it to be. So we're gonna make a pattern, and with a pattern you can make it sized to your shape. So it doesn't matter if you're tall, short, thick, thin, it doesn't matter at all. I'll teach you how to make a pattern at your size and the way that you like it. Maybe you will say, well, I can't draw it all, so that's not possible for me. Well, I certainly can't draw it all, really not at all. The drawings that I make, which are the reminders for me what I want to make, everybody laughs about it. It's really ugly, but it doesn't matter because I understand them. I see what I want to remember, how I want to make it, what details I want, and that's important. It doesn't matter if it looks good, it's just that you see how you want to make it, what you want to add, and how you want it to turn out. So if you can't draw, don't worry, no problem at all. I'm really the worst drawer, so that will turn out really good. Third thing that we're gonna do is making swimsuits, and of course it's not summer now, but we're all the way. It's summer now, but we're almost halfway, so maybe that's not for too long. But when supporting the people in Australia and South America and New Zealand, maybe I'll do swimsuits all year round, and you can make it in the winter and wear it in the summer or whatever you like. But making swimsuits is very nice. I forgot to do that when I was younger and really was struggling finding bathing suits that fit me, because my top and my bottoms have a really different sizing. And only last year I found a YouTuber that made swimsuits, and that was so nice and so cute, and I thought, oh my god, why have I never thought of making swimsuits? It's so easy, it's almost easier than making normal clothing, and I never thought of it and always struggled about finding swimsuits that suit me. So now I'm making swimsuits again, and it's really not difficult. So also don't be afraid to start with it. Just start, just begin, and it all turns out great. You'll see. And of course this can be a fashion channel without hauls, so once in a while there will be a haul. I am very inspired by Josie from FashionMumblr. She has a great style, I love her style. In the day I did a course for fashion stylist, they call it city chic. I don't know what they call it nowadays, but to me the city chic is really a good word to describe what it is. It is a more dressy way of clothing, but not over the top. Just looking good, not in your jeans or sweatpants or something. And she inspires me very much, so my hauls will be a kind of her hauls. If you like it, I'll leave her channel down below. You can click it and say goodbye to her for me, because I like her very much. And last but not least, you can see I have pretty long hair. I love to braid it, do it in updos, whatever. I used to do that since middle school, and I remember in high school my English teacher, every day I had English, he called me in front of the class to show what I did with my hair that day. And it was a couple of times a week that I had to come up front to show what I did. And that was really cute of him. And I really liked it. I always tried to make something crazy of it, crazy beautiful, and I still love to braid my hair or do things with it. I love intricate things. Simple ponytails are not for me, so it will be a bit more intricate, but certainly doable on yourself also, because I have always to do it on myself. So you know, it's not only to do on your child or on a friend or whatever. It will be hairstyles you can do on yourself, because I have to do it with my own hair. So hairstyles will be another thing. Maybe that's nothing for you. Just let me know in the comment section below what kind of videos you like, and I will select the frequency of what kind of videos I will upload. But I'm very obsessed with hair, so there will be some. But if you like a hair care routine, just let me know. Okay, that's it for the intro. Very long one, but for the first video it has to be. You won't see my head too often from now, because I don't like to be on camera. I don't even like to be on a photograph. I don't like to be in video. I don't make selfies at all. I have 2 selfies and I don't like them. So not much of my head in the videos, but certainly all kind of things to get creative and to make some beautiful things for your own. So have fun, and let's go into the tutorial. Oh, back again, one more thing. It's obvious that I'm not a native English speaker. If my English is really annoying, let me know also in the comment box. Because if many of you are annoyed by my voice and my English, let me know and I'll turn back to my own language, which is Dutch, and I'll give you subtitles so you can understand what I'm saying. So let me know, and please not too much hate. I know my English is bad, very bad, but I'm trying. Thank you. And now the tutorial.
These are the 2 tops that I really like, and I like to combine them. What I like in the left top is the crossover in the front and the gathering under the bust. I like the waistband, but I would like it a bit lower. Now it's more under the bust, I like it more on the waist. I like the ruffles, but somehow it feels a bit bulky around the shoulders, and I have rather broad shoulders, so I don't want too much fabric all over there, so I'm not really sure about that. I really like the back, the plunging neckline, but I want it a bit higher so you can wear a bra under it. I like the little strings. I'm sure gonna make that. The second top, I like the sleeves because it's a very thin fabric. It's, I think, a chiffon or something that I bought of the fabric. I like the ruffles. Here they are around the neckline, so I think I love that more than around the shoulders. So the ruffles, I think I will make like the second top. It's the front is a bit the same, because with the crossover, with the waistband, and with the gathering under the bust. So that's about the same as in the first top. So I'm gonna combine those 2 in my own design, and I'll make a drawing of that, and you will see that next.
Okay, so this is what I made of it. I made a crossover in the front with a gathering below the bust, ruffles along the sides, cap sleeves, little cap sleeves. You can't really see how they fall, but they're not covering the whole armhole, but just the top of it with gatherings on top. The waistband, and that ties in a bow in the back. The back has a little bit of a scoop neck, not that far as in the pictures, because I don't really like that. You can wear a bra under it, so I don't want a very low cutout, so we go halfway about, with a bow to tie it so that the back won't fall off your shoulders. I'm not sure about the ruffles here. Maybe I do them, maybe not. Depends on how it looks like, because I have long hair, it falls over this, so you won't see it anyway. And usually it gets very bulky here on the back when there's ruffles under my hair. So I'll see when I'm going, I can put them on later or I can leave them out. The cap sleeves are the same. And I decided not to make a zipper or buttons or something. I just made the part some wider so that you can pull it over your head. And then we get some gathers because of the bow. So the waistband we won't sew all the way around. We leave an opening here so that we can gather with the bow so that it will fit nicely. So that's my drawing. As you can see, I can draw. And on the sideline I write the details that I like, so that I know that I don't forget what I have drawn in the picture if I haven't looked well. So that's my reminder when I start making the pattern. Then what we need for pattern taken, we need a measuring tape, of course, and some paper. And what you're going to do, first thing is measuring yourself, because you want to make something the right size yourself, or the sizes of whom you want to make it for. So this is a drawing where I marked what we want to measure: the bust, the waist, the hips. And be careful with this. In this pattern it's not important because we stop at waist, but most people don't measure the hips right, because they look in the mirror and they see, oh, this is my widest point, but they forget that the butt on the back sometimes has its widest point here. So look at the picture, look in the mirror, what is your widest point? And it not only the hips, but the butt is mostly the widest point, so it can be lower than you think it will be. So measure these, in this case 2, the chest and the waist, and then divide it by 4. So my chest is divided by 4, 22, my waist divided by 4, 17. Then I measure my neck. Well, I don't really measure, but I look in the mirror, how wide do I want the neck to be? I don't like it when it's too tight against my neck, so for me it's 16 centimeters from left to right. And the shoulders from left to right, where you want to stop the shoulder seam, divided by 2, because you want half of it, is 20. So measure that, write it all down, and have that on hand when you're making the pattern. Then we take the paper. Okay, you can take any paper you like. I usually use pattern paper, that is paper with squares on it, and when I draw from scratch, I like this paper because you have the straight lines to align the things together, and it's easier to make straight lines somewhere else. So usually I use this, but for the sake of this tutorial I use normal paper, because maybe most people won't have the squared paper. So take any paper you have, doesn't matter, a ruler, and if you like you can use such a rounded ruler, but you don't really need it. You can also just draw by hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to put one straight line a bit from the side of the paper and draw a straight line all the way down. Then you're going to measure how long you want the top to be. Mine will be 41. I forgot to tell you that you had to measure that too with the measurements. Just measure from your shoulder to your waist how much that is. Mine is 41. So I'm gonna mark 41 for my length. Put a sign there and up, make a line across. Okay, so the straight line will be the front middle. My waist was 17, so the bottom line is the waistline, that will be 17, but because I'm gathering under the bust, I add 10 centimeters, so that's almost for everyone the same. If you're really with a bit thicker, then you should maybe add 12 or 15 centimeters. And because we have the overlap in the front, you have to add an extra from the mid front. So I measured from the mid front 17 centimeters plus 10 is 27. So 17 would be in my normal waist. We add 10, it's 27. And for the overlap I take 7 because I don't want too much. So it nearly fits my paper, but it doesn't matter. Then we're gonna go to the top. My neck was 8 centimeters, so I mark 8 centimeters down here. This is the point where my shoulder will be. And my shoulder width was see how much, 20 centimeters, but I'll make it smaller. I'll make it around 10. Most people have shoulders that's hanging down a bit to the side. Mine doesn't. So normally you would drop 2 centimeters down. For me that's too much, then it opens up in here. So I only go 1 centimeter down, but you can best do 2 centimeters down. And you draw a straight line till there. That will be my shoulder. This will be the neckline. And because this is a V-neck, or an overlap neck, we can connect this point to where it stops. So we draw a straight line from the shoulder all the way down to the waist overlap. Okay. Then we have to do the armhole. I measured my armhole to be 20 centimeters and 4 centimeters in the front. So I go first down for my shoulder down 20 centimeters. And I don't like my armhole in the front too much going to the middle, because then you can have exposure down here, so I don't like that. So I only go 4 in. So this will be the armhole, and you make a sort of a curved line. You can do that with the ruler. I'll do it now by hand because most of you won't have that curved ruler. So you just go down and you go a bit straight to the side. Okay, and that's the front part. Easy. Then we go to the back part. Okay, so I have cut out my front part because the back part is almost identical to the front part with just a few adjustments, and it's very easy to have that cut out because then you don't have to draw everything again. So you can see this piece of paper is a bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. The overlap we don't need in the back, so I'll fold that back and align this. This was the mid front, this then will be the mid back. So we align them together. I'm going to draw the line from the waist. I'm going to draw the line from the sides. I just forgot to make this line from the front part because I had marked it, but I hadn't drawn it, but I've cut it off where I should be. So it should end here, but because we don't have a zipper or anything, I want to make it a little bit wider so that I'm sure that I can get out. So I'll just add a few centimeters for the sides right here. Then the armhole will be the same, only I will just make it a little bit wider because that fits a little bit nicer. So I draw this the same as the front. I mark where the shoulder stops. Then I take this off and I make it here a little bit wider so you have more movement. In this pattern it doesn't really matter because you have just cap sleeves. This is not really sleeves, so you won't feel that tied up, but you can just make it how you want. So I do it like this. Okay, then we need to make the scoop neck. I have measured that I want that 16 centimeters down. That's a nice deep depth so that you can wear a bra under it. So we mark 16. And I want to have it with a little bow scoop. So then I like to use my ruler, but again you can just do it hands-free. I have to see how I want this. It doesn't really matter. You can adjust it the way you want it when you're making it and fitting it. So it will be like this. And there's your back pattern. Okay, the sleeves. This is not a normal sleeve, so it's a bit easier than usually. I measured around my arm how wide I want the sleeve to be because it should be rather loose. And for my arms I made it 48 centimeters. Ooh, that's fitting just. Yeah, it's fitting. So I draw a straight line across, 48 centimeters. I measured from my shoulder down how long I want it to be, with a bit extra because I wanted to puff it up a bit. So I measured 20 centimeters, but that is the height exactly in the middle, so I have to mark where the middle is. So that will be 24. So at 24 it will be 20 centimeters. And then I'll make a curved line, more a bit of a bow, and I don't even do this with this thing because I like to do this by hand. So go up a bit and then make a bow. Go down. And the easiest way to get it symmetrical is to fold it in half. And then cut it out and you have a symmetrical sleeve. The only thing we have to do is the waistband. And what I did for the waistband, I took my measuring tape, I did it around my waist and looked how much length I want extra to make a bow in the back. Not too much because then it gets too bulky. So I made it 150 centimeters and about 12 centimeters wide. You have to cut that double because you want a double waistband, and we're gonna strengthen it too, but you can see that later when we're going showing. So that's the pattern. Okay, so now we only have to make the ruffle along the front line. So we measure that, and it's 44 centimeters. And we can make a straight ruffle and gather it together. So I take the length times 1.5 or 2, depending on what fabric I have. My fabric is rather thin, so I take between 1.5 and 2 times. And the length of the width of the fabric is 75 centimeters, so I'll take just that width, then I don't have to be difficult taking a pattern. We take just the width of the fabric, which is 75 centimeters, and the width of the ruffle, it falls over like this. You can take 5, you can take less or more, just depending on what you like. I'll take 5. So that will be just a rectangle, and just like the waistband, it's just rectangles. You don't have to make a pattern of it, you can just measure it on the fabric, just what you like. So the ruffle is a rectangle and the waistband is another rectangle. Then we have all the patterns, and that is, we have the front, half of the front, so that means you have to double it. So this is the left right one, this is the right one. Then we have the back half, the back center, and because we don't want the seam in the middle, we're gonna lay this on the fabric on the fold. The fabric is always doubled, and when you lay this on the fold, you don't have the seam in the middle because you can open the pattern in one piece. So we have to cut this on the fold, this 2 times, and because the fabric is double, when you place it 1 time on the fabric, you got 2. And 1 sleeve, you need 2 of these, so 1 times on the fabric, you get 2. 1 ruffle, we need 2, 1 for the left and 1 for the right front. And we need a waistband, we need 1, but we need a double one. So what I usually do is I double this on the fabric, so I cut it double. That means that you don't have a seam on the top or on the bottom, whatever you like. So usually I double this up, so it's now 6, we make a 12 on the fabric. So that's all the patterns. What else do we need? Oh, I have to show you the fabric I got. You can buy any fabric you like, depending on what kind of top you like, what your inspiration was. You can choose the fabric and the kind of fabric. So this was a very flowy top, so I bought a very thin viscose jersey. I like jersey because it's stretchy, so it wears very nice. It's very thin, so it's don't know if you can see it, it's almost see-through, but not too much that you have to wear something under it. But it's very thin, so it's very flowy, and with the ruffles you get a very nice effect. So this is a viscose jersey. You can take a cotton jersey or polyester jersey. You also can take just a normal cotton or a normal polyester, just depending on what you like. Depending on how thick it is, how flowy it is, makes how your top will look like. So you can decide yourself what the outcome is of the top you designed, because it is your design. So this will be the fabric, and now we're gonna lay the pattern on the fabric. This is my fabric. This is a viscose jersey fabric, and the problem with this is often that the sides, the selvage, those wrinkle up. And what I do first is pin them together so that they stay aligned, and I'm certain that the fabric is folded in the right way. So we pin this down. And then what I do is I take my pattern and look how I want to lay it down. And what I do is I watch at the pattern, what do I want on my pieces. This is the back, so that would be nice. This is the front, but I don't like this piece to have that on my front. So then I would have to lay it here, but that's also not the best side, because then it's in the middle of the fabric. So I switch it over, see if the other side is better. Lay it flat again. This is the fold, so there goes my back piece. And then I think this will turn out very good, because these flowers, I do like them on my front pattern, so I lay it down there. Then I have my sleeve, and that's also perfect, because when I lay it diagonally, it will flow better around the arm, down the arm. So I put this diagonal there, and then I have all the ruffles, and we put them on all the rest of the fabric we have all around. And then we pin.